Nobody expected what happened in Lane 8 at the 2016 Rio Olympics. A 24-year-old from Bloemfontein, South Africa, a city known more for rugby than sprinting, crossed the finish line and stopped the world. Wayde van Niekerk had just run 43.03 seconds in the 400 meters, shattering Michael Johnson's 17-year-old world record of 43.18, a record that Johnson himself said only Usain Bolt could break. It wasn't Bolt. It was this kid from South Africa that half the world had never heard of. And after that race, Bolt found Van Niekerk on the track and told reporters he had already told Wayde in Jamaica that he would break the record and take over track and field when Bolt retired. That is the standard we are talking about. What made Van Niekerk different wasn't just the 400m. He is the only athlete in history to run the 100m in 9.94 seconds, the 200m in 19.84 seconds, and the 400m in 43.03 seconds. Not Bolt. Not Johnson. Nobody else has broken 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and 44 seconds across all three distances. He won the World Championships in 2015 and again in 2017. At the 2017 Worlds in London, he beat the field by almost half a second. 2 days later, he ran the 200-meter final and lost the gold by just 0.02 seconds to Ramil Giliev. This was a man entering what should have been a decade of dominance. Then came October 7, 2017. A celebrity touch rugby match. A wrong step. A torn ACL. Tears in both the medial and lateral meniscus. Surgery in Colorado. Gone. His World Athletics results page shows nothing for 2018 or 2019. Not a single result. 2 completely lost years. By the time the 2021 Tokyo Olympics finally arrived, delayed a full year by COVID, Van Niekerk couldn't even make the 400-meter final. The man who holds the world record couldn't qualify for the final. In 2022 at the World Championships in Eugene, he finished 5th with a 44.97. In 2023 in Budapest, he finished 7th. Then at the 2024 Paris Olympics, he skipped the 400m entirely, ran the 200m, and didn't advance past the semifinals. That is how far the fall had gone. Along the way, he left his longtime coach Tanni Ns Botha, the woman who guided him to the world record, and moved to Claremont, Florida to train under Lance Brauman alongside Olympic 100m champion Noah Lyles. The hope was that elite American training would reset him. It never clicked. By early 2025, he ended that arrangement and flew home. He wasn't signing with another world-famous coach. He started working with his stepfather, Stephen Schwartz. His wife Chesney was expecting their second child. He needed to be home. He needed to go back to the foundation that originally built him. Then Tokyo 2025 happened. The World Athletics Championships. Final event of the entire meeting. Men's 4x400-meter relay. And it was pouring. Not raining, pouring. Pools of standing water pulling across the track. Every world-class 400m runner in that field was getting dragged down by those conditions. Wayde van Niekerk was on the third leg for South Africa, running in lane 1, where the water collects hardest. He ran that leg in 43.26 seconds. Nobody else came close. The next fastest relay split in the entire race was 43.93. South Africa won the bronze medal. His teammates, Lyle Pell, 22 years old, Okon, just 20, and Zakithi Nene, 27, were standing on their first global championship podium. Every one of them, outside of Wayde, had never been there before. He showed up for them. And that 43.26 in those conditions, in lane 1, in a typhoon on the third leg under exchange pressure, is one of the fastest relay splits ever recorded under any kind of adverse weather in championship history. In clean conditions, that run converts to sub 43 seconds. Now it is 2026. Bloemfontein, the Free State Athletic Stadium, his season opener. He runs the 100m in 10.13 and the 200m in 20.32, and he visibly slowed at the finish line. February. These are the same 2 events at the same stadium, in the same sequence he ran back in 2017 before his greatest ever season. In 2017, he opened with a 10.12 and a 20.45 at this exact track. Then he went on to run 19.84 in the 200m in Jamaica and 9.94 in the 100m at a small meet in Slovenia. The 2026 opener is almost a mirror image of that 2017 opener. The difference is what came after 2017. But this time the knee is not the question anymore. Tokyo 2025 already answered that. Wayde van Niekerk is 33 years old. He hasn't broken 44 seconds since 2017. The field has changed. Stephen Gardiner, Michael Norman, Matthew Bowling, younger, sharper, and unburdened by the injuries that have defined Wayde's last 8 years. Those are facts. But here is another fact. No one on this planet has ever run 43.03 seconds in the 400m. That world record still stands, almost 10 years later. And for the first time since that rugby pitch in Cape Town, the physical signals and the competitive environment are pointing in the same direction. The late-phase engine, the gear that no one else on Earth has at the 300-meter mark, showed up in Tokyo in the rain in Lane 1. The mechanical foundation showed up in Bloemfontein in February. Track and Field 2026 just got its first quiet warning. Not a press conference. Not a headline time. A 20.32 in February, a deceleration at the finish line, and a margin of victory that was already over at 100 meters out.
Nobody had done it. Not in the history of college track. Not once in the entire existence of indoor sprinting. Breaking 20 seconds in the 200 meters indoors as a collegiate athlete, it just had not happened. And then on March 14, 2026, at the Randall Tyson Track Center in Fayetteville, Arkansas, Garrett Kaalund did exactly that. The clock read 1995. The crowd lost their minds. And college track was never going to be the same again. Kaalund was born on January 25, 2004, in Georgia, but grew up in San Antonio, Texas, where his mother, Ann Kaalund, signed him up for track, simply because the kid could not sit still. He landed at Antonian College Preparatory High School, and by May 2022, he was winning the Texas South Region titles in both the 200 meters and the 400 meters. He set school records in the 100, 200, and 400. He anchored record-setting 4x100, 4x400 relay teams. He was named Athlete of the Year at his school. He was the fastest recruit in the state of Texas that year. His personal bests coming out of high school were 10.51 in the 100, 20.66 in the 200, and 46.88 in the 400. College programs were lining up. He chose the University of Nebraska. As a freshman, he ran 20.65 in the 200 meters. As a sophomore, he dropped that to 20.25 and earned second-team All-American honors at the NCAA championships. The improvement was steep and consistent, but Nebraska was not where this story was going to peak. In August 2024, USC hired Brenton Emanuel as their sprints and hurdles coach. Emanuel had been Kaalund's coach at Nebraska. Kaalund followed him. The transfer changed everything. At USC, something clicked beyond just the coaching. The environment, the belief in that building, it got into Kaalund. He has said it himself. The athletes around him believed in themselves at a level he had not seen before, and that belief became contagious. But the real technical work was happening at the starting blocks. Emanuel had identified the one flaw holding Kaalund back: his start. Kaalund was always a monster in the back half of a race, but he would dig himself a hole in the first 60 meters and then spend the rest of the race clawing back. After countless hours working that start, he finally had a complete race dangerous from gun to tape. The result that first indoor season, at USC, the Trojans won the overall NCAA Indoor Championships team title in March 2025, their first team title in 53 years. He entered 2026 with one target: win. On February 6th, he ran 20.12 in New Mexico, breaking the USC school record that had stood since 2015 when Olympic champion Andre DeGrasse set it. 2 weeks later, at the Big Ten Indoor Championships in Indianapolis, he ran 20.06, the third fastest indoor 200 in history, a new Big Ten meet record, and the fastest time in the world for 2026. He was not done. Emanuel said Kaalund had turned down the opportunity to go professional after the 2025 season because he felt the job was unfinished. He came back for titles, and he was about to collect the biggest one of his life: the NCAA Division I Indoor Track and Field Championships, March 14, 2026. The men's 200-meter final was the last individual race of the entire meet. In Section 1, Wayde van Niekerk of Florida had already run a personal best 20.17, a serious time to beat. Kaalund was in Section 2, the fast section, alongside Jelani Watkins of Arkansas, the number 2 seed, fresh off breaking the Arkansas 60-meter record earlier that same day. Before the race, Emmanuel described what Kaalund is like in warm-ups: pacing, nervous, moving constantly. Then the gun fires, and he becomes an entirely different person. That is exactly what happened. He exploded off the blocks, the clean, powerful start that Emmanuel had spent a year building. He attacked the curve. He came off it flying. Down the straight he lifted, drove, and crossed the line. The clock stopped at 1995. The place erupted. Kaalund had become the first collegiate athlete in history to break 20 seconds indoors. He beat McCoy's 20.17 by 0.22 seconds. Watkins finished third. It was not a close race. It was a statement. The previous NCAA and American indoor record was 20.02, set by Elijah Hall in 2018. Gone. The facility record of 20.10, held by Wallace Spearman since 2005. Gone. His 19.95 is now the second fastest indoor 200 in world history. The only man who has ever run faster indoors is Frank Fredericks of Namibia, who ran 19.92 in Leeuwen, France, in February 1996, a world record that had stood for 30 years. Kaalund missed it by 0.03 of a second as a college student indoors. He now owns 2 of the 3 fastest indoor collegiate 200-meter times ever, run his 19.95 at number 1 and his 20.06 tied at number 3. No other college sprinter in the history of the sport has ever sat that high on that list. After crossing the line, Kaalund said he woke up that morning convinced going under 20 was not possible. Then he stepped outside and changed his mind. "I said I don't care. I'm running it today." The outdoor season is next. His outdoor personal best already sits at 19.96. The world indoor record is 19.92. Garrett Kaalund is 22 years old. The ceiling has not been found yet. Jordan Anthony just walked into the biggest indoor track meet in America, lined up next to the Olympic champion, beat him by 0.06 seconds, and then told him to find a new hobby. He is 21 years old. It is his first professional season, and he was completely calm the whole time. On March 1st, 2026, at the Ocean Breeze Athletic Complex in Staten Island, New York, the USATF Indoor Championships gave the sprint world a moment nobody saw coming. The men's 60-meter final had 3 serious names on the start list. Trayvon Bromell, a former 2016 World Indoor Champion and one of the most dangerous starters in the history of the event. Noah Lyles, the reigning Olympic 100-meter gold medalist, 4-time 200-meter world champion, and the undisputed face of American track and field. And then there was Anthony, a rookie, a kid from Tylertown, Mississippi, who grew up dreaming about the Heisman Trophy, not a national sprint title. When the gun fired, Anthony exploded out of the blocks, hit the 30-meter mark in control, and never looked back. He crossed the line in 6.45 seconds. Bromell finished second in 6:47. Lyles, the man who owns 8 world titles and an Olympic gold medal, finished third in 6:51. The rookie beat the king, and the sport has not been the same since. To understand how big this is, you have to understand who Noah Lyles actually is. This is not just a fast guy. Lyles won the 100-meter gold at the 2024 Paris Olympics, ending a long drought for American sprinting. He holds the American record in the 200 meters at 19.31 seconds, set at the 2022 World Athletics Championships. He has been the loudest, most dominant, most entertaining sprinter on the planet for years. He created the championship belt celebration. He built a brand. He is a cultural icon in a sport that rarely produces them. And before this race, Lyles had not even competed at the USATF Indoor Championships in over 9 years. His last appearance was back in 2018 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where he finished 9th. So when he showed up in 2026, he came with a message. He told reporters that anyone who thought he was letting that belt go somewhere else simply did not know Noah Lyles. He said he was going all out from the very start of the season. He was not scared of anyone. That is the man Jordan Anthony just beat. Now here is what makes Anthony's story different from every other rising star narrative you have heard. He was not even supposed to be a sprinter. He was a wide receiver. He played football at 3 different colleges: University of Kentucky, Texas A&M, and finally University of Arkansas. He had 8 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown at Arkansas. Real football, real games. He once said that if you told him years ago he would be a professional sprinter, he would have laughed in your face. He kept grinding in both sports until track completely took over. And when it did, that football mentality came with it. The explosiveness, the composure under pressure, the ability to perform in crucial moments. Those are not track skills, those are football skills. And they translate perfectly into the 60 meters, a race that is decided entirely in the first half by reaction time, drive phase, and raw acceleration. His 2025 college season was a warning that most people ignored. He won the NCAA indoor title in the 60 meters. Then he went outdoors and won the NCAA title in the 100 meters. He became the first sprinter since 2017 to pull off that double in the same season. He swept the 100 at the SEC championships, running 9.95 and 19.93. He won the Bowerman Award, the most prestigious honor in college track. During his speech, he said, "A football player winning the Bowerman. That's crazy." Then he signed with Adidas, turned professional, and moved to Florida to train under coach Lance Brahman alongside Noah Lyles himself. Every single day, these two are in the same facility, competing against each other in practice. That detail matters more than people realize. But 2026 did not start perfectly for Anthony. On February 1st, he raced at the Millrose Games and finished 3rd. People immediately started saying he had already lost his edge, that he had fallen off before he even got started. His response was not to argue. He used it as fuel. 2 weeks later, on February 13th, at the Tyson Invitational in Fayetteville, Arkansas, he ran 6.43 seconds. That time made him the fastest man in the world in the 60 meters for 2026 and ranked him as the 10th fastest sprinter ever recorded at the distance. He went from being counted out to being the world leader in 14 days. Then he went to Staten Island and won the national title. After the race, Lyles handed Anthony the championship belt personally. The symbolism was obvious. Then Anthony spoke to NBC Sports and did not hold back. He said, "I looked to my right and my left, and I was like, I don't hear Noah. I don't see Trayvon. Gigi's in the chat. New generation is taking over. Today was the day I had to give them their eviction notice." And when asked about training alongside Lyles, he kept it honest. "I enjoy training with Noah. Of course we're going to talk smack. The sport is soft if we don't. I'm bringing football mentality. He's just bringing old age right now." He called the Olympic champion old on national television at 21 years old. Ice cold. Anthony now heads to Torun, Poland for the 2026 World Indoor Championships from March 20th to March 22nd, entering as the world leader in the 60 meters. Kashane Thompson of Jamaica, the Olympic 100-meter silver medalist,